December 1941, the aftermath of Pearl Harbor. The biggest industrial drive in human history begins.
141 aircraft carriers, 807 cruisers, destroyers, and destroyer escorts, 203 submarines, 324,000 aircraft, 88,000 tanks, 157,000 artillery pieces, 2.4 million trucks, 2.6 million machine guns, 41 billion rounds of ammunition. The United States becomes the arsenal of democracy. It not only supplies the United States, it supplies all our allies, including the Soviet Union.
During the war, the U.S. produces more warplanes than the Japanese and Germans combined. They use them to take the fight to the skies while American soldiers prepare an assault on mainland Europe and the islands of the Pacific. August 1942. Major Paul Tibbets from Quincy, Illinois, leads a squadron of B-17 flying fortresses.
What you see for the American soldier is something kind of new here. The Americans have to learn how to operate in this new dangerous environment. Men, machines, aircraft. The American soldier has come a long way.
The target is Rouen, the Nazis' biggest railway yard in occupied northern France. Tibbets' mission is to wipe the yard from the map. The Allies bomb around the clock, with the British striking under the cover of darkness and U.S. bombers raiding in daylight.
Americans will hit German factories, production centers, railway centers, military targets through daylight precision bombardment.
The U.S. uses the groundbreaking technology of the Norden bomb sight to conduct the world's first precision-targeted strikes. Working like an early version of an analog computer, the bomb sight zeroes in on the target. Under heavy fire, 36,900 pounds of bombs are released over Rouen. Almost half hit their target.
During World War II, 3% of all bombs actually hit the targets. But relative to everyone else, the Norden bomb sight is pretty accurate.
But American bombing success comes at a high price.
The losses are horrific. The United States 8th Air Force at this time loses about 10% of its bomber force for a given raid. Now, I'm a historian, not a mathematician, but if you're losing 10% on every mission as a ballpark figure, around mission 8, 9, or 10, statistically, your number is up. You're not coming home.
Allied bombers soften up the Nazi war capabilities, readying for an all-out assault on occupied Europe. Almost 16 million Americans serve in uniform, many of them still teenagers. Like 19-year-old Harold Baumgarter from the Bronx.
These soldiers that we're recruiting from these small towns to go fight in this global war. When we talk about the invasion of Normandy in June of 1944, the war in Europe is won by the high school class of 1942.
Men like 19-year-old William Dabney from Alta Vista, Virginia.
World War II changed the entire world, but it certainly transformed the Black American psyche in a way that led to and made possible the civil rights movement of the 50s and the 60s.
But progress is slow. Platoons and barracks are still segregated. D-Day approaches. These untested and untried troops will spearhead the Allied forces against a battle-hardened, well-dug-in enemy.
Will they be up for it? It's the question of all times.
June 1944. Southern England has become a massive army camp of 3 million troops. 2.5 million tons of equipment is shipped from the U.S.
It would be hard in human history to find a project that would parallel D-Day in terms of sheer complexity of operations.
General Dwight D. Eisenhower is in command of Operation Overlord, the biggest amphibious assault in history.
Dwight Eisenhower is almost the people's general. He is one of the soldiers in a sense. He's not one of those brass hats who holds his men at a distance. He's almost like a father figure to the men.
The plan banks on landing a vast fighting force on the heavily defended beaches of northern France. The resources needed to pull off the invasion are stretched thin. Over 1 million troops, including U.S. Marines, are on the other side of the world, engaged in a bloody island-hopping campaign in the Pacific against the Japanese.
The men, machines, aircraft, all required to support these major operations going on simultaneously. And I would make the argument no other nation then or now can do that except the United States.
Another 1.6 million soldiers are in Europe. The stakes riding on the Normandy invasion are highest.
This is a one-shot deal. This is the entire free world. If this fails, it could be years before we start again.
After weeks of adverse conditions in the English Channel, Eisenhower prays for a break.
The invasion force was already marshaled and ready like a cocked pistol. So General Eisenhower's got to make a decision on whether to launch under mediocre conditions at significant risk or whether to postpone the invasion for about a month.
For every day that they don't go, the Germans plant more mines, dig in more strongly, and provide more reinforcements.
June 5th, 1944. Eisenhower decides D-Day is go the next day.
Once the commander has made that final decision, there's not much you can do. And it's this hellish waiting because you almost wish you had a rifle and you were on the front lines because you'd be doing something.
For a soldier that's about to go land in Normandy, you can imagine that they're experiencing the panoply of emotions. There's anticipation. There's also fear. Many people around me might get killed.
America is ready to sacrifice its sons. 19-year-old Harold Baumgarten writes what might be his final diary entry.
Many of us had our heads shaved, so our hair could not be grabbed during hand-to-hand combat.
Many of these men have less than 12 hours to live.
I did not expect to come back alive. I wrote such to my sister, to get the mail before my parents and break the news gently to them when she received the telegram.
Dog tags are taped together so they don't rattle. Stealth could mean the difference between living and dying. William Dabney is given a special mission. He has to drag a barrage balloon ashore under heavy fire. It's a tactic designed to protect Allied troops from strafing fire from enemy aircraft. His chances of survival are slim.
I'm not looking forward to getting shot and killed. I'm looking forward to going home.
73,000 American soldiers are poised to land in Normandy on D-Day. 7,000 ships, supported by 11,000 aircraft, will attack on the first day alone.
Well, D-Day was really, in many ways, the ultimate combined arms operation because you have to have command of the sea, command of the ground, and command of the air.
The targets are 5 separate beaches. 3 will be stormed by a joint force of Canadian and British troops. The other two are the responsibility of American soldiers. June 6th, 6:30 a.m. Omaha Beach. The first landing craft reached the shore. They meet ferocious German resistance. There are 85 machine gun nests on this one beach alone. American soldiers struggle through the surf into a hail of enemy bullets.
They had to deal with German beach obstacles, mines, barbed wire, tank traps, and then they have the heights and cliffs overlooking the beach, all fortified with German bunker complexes with artillery and machine guns. And then they've got German reserve formations, infantry and panzers in the vicinity that are able to rush to the threatened point.
One tank battalion loses over 30 tanks before reaching the beach, leaving the infantry exposed. William Dabney, tethered to his balloon, is totally defenseless. But then he gets a break. His balloon is punctured by enemy fire. At last, he is free to take cover. Also on Omaha, Harold Baumgarten is thrown into the carnage.
There were men with their guts hanging out of their wounds, body parts lying along our path.
If you ask anybody that's ever been in combat, they will tell you, yeah, sure, you fought for your country, you fought for your way of life, but in all reality, you're fighting for your buddy that's right next to you.
Some were simply overwhelmed by the vision of hell.
Get down! Get down!
By 9 a.m., nearly 5,000 men are ashore. A beachhead is established in Nazi-held Europe, but there are nearly 2,000 American casualties on Omaha Beach alone. William Dabney survives. He is later awarded the Legion of Honor for courage under fire.
By noon that day, the Americans have started to push inland. Doesn't mean the battle is over by a long shot. But what you're seeing is the Americans are slowly building combat power ashore.
The cost is staggering. Nearly 135,000 American troops are killed, wounded, or missing in the Normandy campaign. Harold Baumgarten is shot 5 times, but is saved by blood transfusions and morphine.
If D-Day isn't the battle of all battles in our nation's history, it is one of them.
When you look at the American soldier, he's not fighting for territory. He's not fighting for empire. He's fighting to defeat fascism. The American soldier is willing to go overseas and meet the enemy on his own terrain, on his home ground, and win.